So yes, people, welcome back to another episode of the Ghostoul Podcast. Today, I am truly honoured to have Ally and Sadie from HauntexTV.
Hello, Miki.
Hello.
Everybody, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you both?
Very well indeed.
Good.
Good.
A bit of a cold. I might sound a bit like a man, but I've got a bit of a cold, so but I'm all right.
It's not COVID, is it?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
No.
it's coming back. It's coming back.
Yeah, possibly, but I don't think so.
No, it's
I
not
don't think
COVID.
so.
No.
Ask Ally next week when he's got it.
That's it.
Take your Lemsip.
Yeah.
All good.
So, for those of you listening and watching that don't know who Sadie and Ally are, if you guys could just give us a little run through of who you are and what you do, that would be great.
Yeah, so I am Ally and then Sadie. So we have actually met through the paranormal in 2013 when I was a guest psychic medium for Sadie used to run paranormal events with about 3 or 4 others called The Haunting.
Yeah, I remember them, yeah.
I went to Strelly Hall to be a guest medium there, and that's where Sir David comes from, because that's the entity, the spirit that I picked up on within there. And so we met there, and then the rest is history. We created HauntexTV for YouTube, and that was after the whole help, I'm being haunted.
Yes.
Where we thought, well, do you know what? We're not going to go back to doing events. Let's just go to YouTube, because we hadn't been to YouTube before that. We did that 2019, 2020, and we're still plugging it.
Still plugging it.
We're still there. But hey, we're real, we're raw, and we're ready for more.
Yeah, I watch many of your episodes, and I do like the natural way you investigate. There's no frills, there's no like fakery. It's just, if it happens, it happens, and I think that's definitely the best way it should be.
Yeah, if it's there, it's there, and if it's not, it's just not.
Yeah.
And that's it. And there's that's the only way you can be, is true to yourself, true to everybody else, and that's the way we've always been in that since day one, really. When I came into the paranormal in 2007, you came into the paranormal, when was it?
About 2011, 10, no,
2009.
11, really, yeah. Well, yeah, but
With
that
Chris,
was just like,
Chris
yeah.
Sale.
Yeah, it was more so like
And
stuff
Dawn.
with like friends and stuff, going to galleries of justice, that kind of thing. And then, but really picked it up probably about 2011.
Was it?
Yeah, it was really.
Yeah.
I did events and stuff
Yeah.
in 2009, 2010 with,
Yeah. And
So
in 2007, I had DPI, Dundee Paranormal Investigators.
Nice.
Originally.
So what got you both into the paranormal in the first place? Was it TV shows? Was it an experience maybe that you had as a child or growing up?
Do you know what? I think obviously like years ago, it was Most Haunted. Most Haunted got a lot of people.
Same as me, yeah.
Yeah. You used to sit there on your old computer and watching the lives and with your headphones on and everything else. And then way back, and then I can remember me and one of my friends, we said, shall we go on a ghost hunt? And we didn't know what to expect. It was our first time at the Galleries of Justice. And I absolutely loved it. And from that, I was hooked. Hooked. And then it just went on from there.
Yeah. I mean, how long have you got?
All the time in the world.
But yeah, I mean, I had experiences that stemmed from trauma, unfortunately.
Okay.
I hate going over it all over again, kind of thing, because been over it over and over kind of thing. But I had, I'm I'm adopted, so I had something really bad happen to me when I was 1 year old, which then put me into an orphanage, then to be adopted, which I was adopted by such a loving and caring family, who are my mum and dad, 100%.
Oh, wow.
And my sister as well. But I was going to school saying really strange stuff, stories, here comes Alistair, the storyteller type thing, by saying that my mum's just given birth. And I was like 5, 6, saying, oh, yeah, I've got a baby sister called Wendy. And people going, what are you talking about? You've got your sister, who's like a couple of years above me. And people at school were like, what's he talking about and everything like that. But years later, I found out, so I was saying to people that I've, at that point, saying I've got a sister named Wendy and all that thing. So years later, I found out that I've got a biological sister 5 years younger than me called Wendy.
Oh, wow.
Weird. But I was telling people that 5, 6 years old, I've got a little sister called Wendy, and literally had a doll pretending that was.
Oh, was it? I was going to say, what was it? Did you have something in mind?
A bit weird, but yeah, finding out then that further down the line that actually in my 20s, finding out that I actually do have a biological sister called Wendy, was a bit weird. And other things were happening. I was going places thinking to myself, wait a minute, I've been here before. No, we haven't been here before, but here at all. All right, yeah, okay. There's 4 chimneys coming up round the corner. Boom, 4 chimneys round the corner. Things like that were just really strange. I was having dreams of, had a dream of a house burning, and these, what I thought were in a dream, like 8, 9 years old, of people coming towards me in like raggy kind of old kind of, I suppose, Victorian clothes, but like they were all burnt and ripped and I going, help. And it was coming from a house down the road from where my where I was brought up with my parents. So I then said to my mum about this, and then it was like going down, I was trying to show, and it was like, that house burnt down years ago.
Wow.
It wasn't there.
No.
The house wasn't there. So it was like there, and it's like a car park. Yeah, you showed me. And it's like, oh no, that house burnt down years ago. Yeah. Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
So I had these other experiences where, I think we all used to do this, Miki, right? I'm sure people would resonate with this. Well, I hope they would. I'm going to look right stupid. Probably not. We all used to run back from the toilet, surely, to your bedroom. Used to run
along the landing.
I'm back. Kind of heart and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't that long ago, actually, that my sister told Sadie when we were over, because obviously my mum passed away when she was in her 60s, and my dad was still living in this big house on his own. And it came to it that he was going to move and live closer to my sister, because it made sense. She's still in Scotland, do you know what I mean? So they'll move.
I see. Yeah.
Just to be closer, to be able to look after him more and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we were in the house, and we were actually, so rewind that just before. So my dad wasn't really that well, and we went over to, he was in hospital, and we went over to the house. And we were staying in the house on our own in this big house, right? And I honestly heard a female shouting my name. And even you said,
I heard the female.
What was that?
But,
wow.
Yeah.
And I believe that to be my mum.
Oh, that's
I just believed it to be. It may not have been. It may be something else. But there certainly wasn't anyone else there in the house. But then my sister tells Sadie, oh, yes, this house used to be, what did you say?
Was it a funeral parlour?
Yeah, a funeral parlour. It used to be a funeral parlour.
Oh, wow.
Nobody told me that.
And it was a funeral parlour, then it was a doctor's surgery, and then obviously Ally's family home. So it was a big, creaky old house anyway.
Nobody told me about the funeral part.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So no wonder I was like hypersensitive. I was really sensitive in that house. And I suppose Ghost Watch didn't really help. When I was younger, watching that and having to go up to my right, get off to your bed now. Oh, right.
No, I'm not.
Still got like the bells on the wall.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you need to ring like for a maid or something.
For the maid, yeah.
Still, like,
Oh.
it's on the wall.
Yeah, it's very,
That's
very
crazy.
But no, with experiences, 100%. But with experiences like that through years and years and years, it got to a point where I was about 18, 19, and a psychologist said to me about, have you heard of parapsychology? And I was just like, and ESP, and I was just like, oh, not really. So I just started like having a look, because I used to really fear the whole death part, you know, and oh my God, what happens? This. So yes, I think everybody goes through that fear.
If you don't understand it.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as he mentioned about parapsychology, and I just started looking at stuff, and just like when I was at uni, I was going to like the library, just having a look, afterlife, death, kind of, as you kind of do, don't you, with dialogue, kind of thing.
Takes ages.
Absolutely. But things like that, then all of a sudden, I mean, I had that interest. Obviously, Blair Witch Project came out, and that was like, kind of thing. Then Most Haunted. And I used to enjoy the lives, things like that. And then in 2007 was when I decided, right, I'm going to get DPI, Dundee Paranormal Investigators. And it was while I was working at Morrison's, I think, as a manager there. And then PC World. And then you just pick people, don't you? And go, oh, do you want, oh, you've got a little bit of an interest in this? Yeah, no problem. Kind of thing. And at PC World, we were able to borrow, a Sony night vision, but the big,
big ones.
With like cassettes and stuff,
Yeah.
So we got to borrow one of them kind of thing, and we went and did Deacon Brody's pub actually in Dundee, which was Stars Bar at the time, and that's when DPI, I suppose, was born with that in 2007. But then I met a spiritualist minister, and one of the best trance mediums in the UK, I would say, Richard, and he was incredible. And he said to me, "You've got something there. You've got like mediumship wise there, but it's not controlled."
Yeah.
Every time I used to touch things like dowsing rods, I used to kind of like not go in a complete trance or sleep, but I used to just go a bit weird, and they'd be like, "Ally," and I'm like, and they'd be Ally, and I'm like, "Yeah, oh yeah, yeah," and it was weird every time I touched them, so I stopped touching them.
Yeah, leave them alone.
But he basically said to me, "Look," it was whilst doing Maine's Castle in Dundee as well, with a group. That was back in the day, when you could get in places for nothing, and they'd say, as long as you write a report up of what your findings were, that's fine. It was a bit like that. So we had done that, and then someone had said to Richard, who have you got your eye on for development and everything that, maybe going to your closed circle, because his closed circle was very sacred, and if you got in that, it's like, wow, because you're going to learn. And he said, well, I'm thinking about Ally there, kind of thing. So that's when I got invited to go into his closed circle, and I learned in there. He mentored me in there with other people as well. And we learned all about the mechanics of mediumship and tarot, psychic vibrations, how to deliver a message, everything like that, how to get yourself to that alpha state and stay in that state to connect, then to, meet your guides and all that kind of stuff. And then I just developed mental mediumship, trance mediumship, and crystal healing mediumship, things like that. It just developed, and it was like paranormal investigations, going deeper in how we could use mediumship within a paranormal investigation, further and beyond to what Most Haunted did. How can we really help? What can we do? And it's not always needed. Let's be honest. It's not always needed, But yeah, that's where I was. And then that's 2011's when I became a professional, I suppose you would call it, psychic medium and paranormal specialist, I suppose. And that's when I started, going to Manchester for people's events. Birmingham. That's when I did 2012 Spookfest 2012 with Derek and Denise.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Psychic and Science tour it was, and I was very, very honoured to have been asked to work with them, with Barry John as well, and Denise and Richard Mott and Paul Gannon, I think, was the host of it and everything. He was a comedian. But it was just incredible to be asked. Then obviously, Psychic TV came along, they offered that, so I took it. Obviously, went down to London, great experience. Things like that just all add to the experience. And then obviously met you, and then that's it.
Woohoo! Jackpot.
Next city, and but the thing is, so. We've visited a lot of great places.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah,
we have.
The whole thing will help on being haunted. I'm not gonna lie, it did crush me a little bit.
We're like this. We're like on a roller coaster all the time with the paranormal.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen next.
No,
you don't know when it's going to happen.
You don't know if you want it to continue. Sometimes we're like, I'm done. I'm hanging my gloves up. That's it. I'm finished.
You were like
that. And then, like the week after, we're back again.
Yeah, it's
very
the draw.
And especially with YouTube, we're quitting YouTube every week, every month,
every day. That's it.
We're done.
Been there every time. Yeah.
I know it's so difficult. It's hard. It's like I say, it's hard this time of year because you're waiting for it to go a little bit darker. So it's 11 o'clock at night before you probably start investigating.
Oh, no, it's annoying.
It is annoying, but then in the winter it's too damn cold to be standing in these abandoned buildings. So you can't win. So all the time it's like, I've had enough now. I'm getting too old for this. I'm done.
That's the thing.
But we keep bouncing back. We keep carrying on.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see new people all coming through and into the paranormal as well. There's been a massive intake on YouTube since COVID.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think
so. Come in, and some of them have been very successful indeed. And we just kind of, stay out the whole, I suppose the drama. Side of it.
Yeah, don't get involved. Don't get involved in that.
Don't know.
Cannot be bothered at all. No. It's like we've been into the paranormal, like you, Miki, for a long time. Yeah. We enjoy the paranormal. We love the paranormal. We love people who really want to talk about the paranormal, and who are respectful to want to share their experiences, and then we share theirs. Like we do with you, Miki. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've been to St. Crispin's with you.
Love
that's
that place.
Twice we've been there. We went once before, didn't we?
Is it still there?
The clock tower's there and the admin building. That's it.
Can you still get in though? Yeah. Yes and no.
I'll let you know next week.
Oh, you're going.
Well, who knows? Maybe.
But this is the thing, isn't it? It's like we do a lot of abandoned places, and we will not go in a place if we see that it's clearly boarded or it's clearly this is out. Any signs for us, like big signs that will say this is private property, keep out, there's alarms or whatever, we just go, all right then, okay, no, that's absolutely fine. We don't really bother. But if there's,
Yeah.
oh,
So my lights playing up. Carry on. Sorry,
don't pick it up.
it's a ghost.
Somebody here. But no, yeah, I mean, we do a lot of abandons and everything like that. But we've been doing abandons for a long time. People will say, "Oh, abandons and everything." It's like, yeah, but we've been doing abandons since
Do you know what? When we think
2011 or something.
The abandoned buildings that we've done, and we never did YouTube. I don't think YouTube was it was obviously
it was a thing, but we
wasn't
never.
How it is now.
No.
When I think about all the abandoned buildings that we've done years and years and years ago. We've had a whale of a time. Our YouTube channel would have probably been right up there, but
Well, you don't think about stuff. I don't know. We've never
too busy
really
enjoying it.
We've never really bothered.
You're right there, Miki.
You're having a disco. It's a disco.
What I do, I use my TV on YouTube for my light. My TV is there, so it's just on an advert. Sorry.
Oh,
it's fine now. We're back.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I was going to say, talking about a lot of your videos on YouTube at the moment are abandoned places.
Yeah.
And there's obviously, it's quite popular in recent years. Now, do you think that is because they're free? The locations that have people working there, they charge so much money, crazy amounts of money. Do you think that's one of the reasons why abandoned buildings, urbex places are as popular as they are, or they just look really creepy?
I think it's the only reason why people are doing it.
Definitely.
To be honest, because it's free.
Yeah.
We've ran events. We've had Ashwell Prison over what was it, £1,400?
Yeah, just
for the night.
Over 1,000.
No, it was
I can't remember.
Yeah,
but it was 1,000, just over 1,000.
But there were 6 buildings, so we sold out 60 people.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
And all in 6 buildings.
But for YouTube, definitely, I totally get why people are going into abandoned buildings.
Yeah.
I can't say not racked off, but when people say, "Oh, there was nothing here," or they do like a YouTube video on like an abandoned house.
Yeah.
But there's no story to it.
No.
So people are going into these houses, but there's no ghostly stories attached to them.
There's no haunting or anything.
Why do they expect to get anything from it? That's where I'm a little bit, with the houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Make the story up, maybe.
Yeah.
That's another negative on the paranormal. People making fake ghost stories up to get clicks and views on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody loves a bit of clickbait, right? Because you've got to have a cliffhanger to your video and a pull in. But as long as your content is real and it's true, not a problem at all.
No.
But if you're going to go and say, "Oh, well, this like Sally's murder house," I was not convinced of that story when we went to Sally's murder house in Macclesfield.
Yeah.
Not convinced about it. I even said in the video, I think, Sally's murder house. Yeah, okay.
But what's the other one?
Sally.
Where they say the Three Sisters.
Three Sisters murder house.
Yeah, you see, there's no such thing.
There's no
Three Sisters
story.
were murdered at the house.
No.
Yeah, so when it comes to houses, I am a little bit. I don't really get the house thing.
However,
we have done.
We've done them.
I think like asylums, old hospitals, schools, where you've got a little bit of history and a bit of story, then I totally get.
Asylums are really popular.
Oh yeah, you can't beat an asylum.
Good.
That's it. And I don't know if that's more kind of like being Americanized with that.
I think so.
Like asylum, but it's like there's been movies about asylum. Isn't there a movie called The Asylum or something?
Yeah, and the TV show, was it American Horror Story? There's like 9 series of that. I think the first one is called Asylum, and it's actually in an old 1920s asylum. Yeah.
Wow.
People are always attracted to asylums. You see these B movies that are made and put on DVD you can buy in Tesco for like £4, and they're always in these abandoned asylums, and the devil comes out and gets them, and They do rituals and that, and it's like, I think the name asylum is just meant to be creepy because they think of pain, suffering, which means bad spirits, bad entities, and they think, oh, that's cool. I think that's maybe the attraction to it.
Yeah, I mean, we did a haul recently, and that's our next video that we've got up, and it's coming out next Sunday. We're going to do a premiere.
Hey,
Have about 3 people watching with us, but never. We don't mind. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, no, it's absolutely crazy. But that was actually said to be one of the most haunted places to ghost hunt, according to Fright Nights, I think it was, or something like that, because they used to do events there and everything. I'm not going to say exactly where it is at the minute because obviously it'll ruin it.
So we went to this hall. So other channels have done this hall.
Okay.
3 channels have done this hall.
Yeah.
And we've been there a couple of times and we couldn't get in. And third time lucky, we did get in. And we did spend probably 5 hours or so there.
6. No, probably 4 hours. 4 or 5. Yeah.
4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And it was so quiet. It scared me real bad.
Yeah.
And I wanted to leave.
Never said that ever.
But I was so on edge because it was so quiet, wasn't it? So quiet. It's like in the middle of woods, this big old hall. And it was not even the fear of anybody coming. It was just so quiet. But when we've come home, I mean, something did happen at the end of the night where I literally, my knees shook.
Can I just say, not just at the end?
Yeah, I was just going to get to that part. So actually, at the end of the night, something did happen. And I was like, I want to go. And my knees were like shaking. I was there and my knees were shaking. And then we've come back and we've reviewed the footage and we've caught something. And it's
very rare.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very rare.
That's coming out next week. So I know you'll watch it anyway, Miki.
Oh, well, yeah. I love watching your videos.
So it is a really good one. It's a good one. And it's real. And that's what I love. It's like we go out and we don't catch much. You know what it's like anyway. And then I feel like we went, it's 4 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It took a while to get the video together. And it's like, these are the reasons why we go.
And the weirdest thing is I actually picked up on something that, in my opinion, came to light with that incredible evidence. And I would actually call it, to be honest with you, I would actually call it proof of the afterlife. You know, but that's opinion, you see. So it's my opinion because we were physically there.
It's so real. It's so real.
We were physically there. So, you know, when you're physically there, you pick up on something, then all of a sudden you think to yourself, no, I mean, there's been some interesting bits, but nothing to that kind of level. Yeah. Then you go in the edit and you go, and honestly, I went freezing. And I was just like, oh, wait a minute.
Heart's pumping.
Wait a minute.
It's a good one.
And we had to go over it and over it, the footage and over it, because that's what you do as paranormal investigators. You know, of investigators of the unknown, you have to keep going over it. And I keep thinking and saying to Sadie, how are these people getting all these videos out every single week? I mean, they're not reviewing the footage, like 5 hours of footage or what? Because
to get it out weekly, we just can't.
No, I know that feeling. Yeah.
They've got busy lives with
full-time jobs. Yeah,
they've got full-time jobs, and then to come home and then you're reviewing footage, then your night's gone, your bed, back to work, and you know there is a life outside of the paranormal. And as much as like we love doing YouTube, we love investigating. It's not fully our lives, is it? You know.
No, it's not. I mean, it isn't. It's not
big
because
part,
it's a hobby. Do you see it as a hobby?
Definitely.
At the minute,
yeah.
I mean, before, to me anyway, it was a lifestyle technically, and that's because of being professional psychic medium and intuitive and spiritual life coach, that's what I was doing, full time. And obviously with the telly stuff with Psychic TV and everything that was full time. Do you know what I mean? So
it's your job.
It's life to me, kind of thing. And then doing events as a guest medium and all that was, life. That was a part of me. But the paranormal will always find you. And that's my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Paranormal comes and says, right, it's you,
when it's the right time.
It's the right time, the right place, the right people. And I believe that is a great factor, by the way, in any investigation. The right people that you have with you as well. Not too many, but just the right people, the right energies.
And the right intentions.
Correct.
On the night. And then the spirits may come out and play for you.
I mean, we've had people come with us and we've thought to ourselves, okay, how's that been thrown in? And thought, right, okay, not again, no problem. Do you know what I mean? Because we have seen it, haven't we? We've seen people on events as well. Their foot kicking tables.
I do miss the events, though. To be fair, I say to Ali, let's just organise a ghost hunt, because so many people will say, "Oh, come on, say, take us on a ghost hunt, take us on a ghost hunt."
I'll come.
Yeah, I know.
I'll buy a ticket.
We actually said this though, because we were considering doing.
Yeah, we was
ghost hunting with HauntexTV, and
why not?
Just probably like 2 or 3 a year.
Sadie goes, who would help us? And I said, well, Miki would help us.
Miki would help.
Yeah, why not?
He'd come along and take a team and help us out.
Something we're looking into at the minute.
Yeah. A lot of people ask, you know what I mean? A lot of people will say, oh, are you not doing events anymore? And it's like, well, no, we're not doing events. Why not? And it's like, well, it was used to be really, really not difficult, but I was always having to advertise everywhere.
But we did well.
Oh, we did very well.
Yeah, our events did really, really well.
We brought back the haunting in 2015 when it kind of went to nothing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we brought that back with no customers or nothing like that. And we were getting
Ashwell, I think
full on, 60.
About 60, yeah.
And we did
60 people.
We did. What was that? That was Halloween, and we did. It was meant to be like a Singapore theory.
Okay, yeah.
We actually had, we're reenacting kind of thing and pretending so we got everyone lined up.
Yeah, we did.
Against the wall, and we had airsoft guns. And there was one. There was one guest couldn't get out of their car because they were terrified.
Wow.
So we had to stop.
Maybe not do that.
It was like, okay, let's stop. But
I would like to anyway start looking back into the
just a one-off event. A one-off event.
I think, test the waters, see what's happening. Did you get lots of activity on events? Because when I've been on events, I don't really look for the activity because you get people that are inexperienced, that laugh at the wrong time, are stupid. Maybe they're silly because they're scared. And sometimes there's just too many people to get any credible evidence. How did you find it?
Do you know what? I love the social side.
Yes, that's what I go to them for.
Yeah, but there has been things though. My goodness,
it is good.
The cellar in the
school.
not the school, not that one. That was just ridiculous.
The boys' school.
No, but the boys' school, Polbrook House. That I called it the boys' Borstal. Because I had to jump through a lot of hoops to get there because because the owner had a previous group take the Mickey out of him, and it didn't end well. I had to jump through a lot of hoops to get that back in there, didn't I? Went to his house, did a house clearance for him. Just weird stuff happened and stuff, and then he went, right, you can have it as long as you do a full-on energy clearance at the end and spirit release through your spirit runway.
Yeah.
If needed. So I went, no problem. So we got about
6 months, that's it.
6 months
Maybe
of
about 6
events
months of
out of
events
this,
out of it.
and we got it for free. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so
Nice.
as long as we paid for a
We did
loo.
do a charity event because
Yeah, we did.
Decom from
White D from Benefit Street.
Benefit Street.
Detail. She's a lovely
Yeah.
lady.
She came.
She came, and we did it for Sturge Weber.
Oh,
charity.
right. Yeah, I know them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it for that, and it was good bands, wasn't it? It was really, really
So
funny.
I think the social side, I think it's great. You do meet some really, really good people along the way.
But within some of the events, though, some weird stuff happened. The old house in Colville.
Yeah.
Honestly, we got literally stuck in a cellar.
Oh.
Yes, and look, I said, "Go on then, lock us in." Right? And we got locked in. Couldn't open the door to get out. You know? And then there was an EVP on there that sounded like me. And I was screaming because I went, "Oh, no, please, no, kind of thing."
Yeah.
On the EVP. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this better not mean my death. Because you're thinking to yourself, that's really concerning. But even Straley Hall at the time, that was decent. You know what I mean? Like, there was loads of places.
There's some really good investigations, I think, on
Drakelow tunnels.
Oh, I love Drake. Miss Drakelow.
Yeah.
That
Is it
was.
still open? No.
Oh no, I think
it closed, didn't it? Because it was costing too much money, but I believe it's a museum now.
Oh.
I've heard, yeah. If I think Google it. It is supposed to be a museum, but I don't know if it's open to
public.
So yeah, I'm not sure what's happening yet.
I gave some decent information about Drakelow, didn't I?
Yeah, it's good.
And all that. That was quite an interesting place, actually. Freaky. I wouldn't want to walk back to the car on my own for that one.
Or the toilet. Go toilet on your own. That's awful.
Yeah.
No way.
Do you fancy going to the toilet?
Yeah, come on, let's all go. Yeah.
That's what I did. I think everyone should go to the toilet now.
Yeah.
But no, it was good fun.
Yeah, and I think as well, when you have done events, you see such an amazing locations that you wouldn't see. And I think it's the same with ghost hunting in general, even with abandoned buildings. If you didn't do what you did, you wouldn't see half of what you see. Not just like the ghostly side, but the history, the buildings, the castles, the prisons, the museums, everything. So there is that side to it as well. That's an absolute bonus.
Yeah, the other side to kind of events was, people looking towards us going, when it was quiet, and they were going, "Can't you do anything?" And it's like, "What?"
No, we can't.
And it's like, "No, I'm not a magician."
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh, it's nothing happening," and it's like, "Yes, this is normal." And they're like, "All right, okay." Do you know what I mean? So it's like some guests were just expecting things.
Well, they see it on TV and think, "Oh my God, that's what's going to happen."
Yeah. Oh my God! Look! Someone's getting pulled up by the neck or whatever it was upstairs. Like that. Like, no, that's not happening.
When we were doing events, we got to the stage where we wasn't investigating ourselves, were we?
No.
And we wanted to investigate, and we were fed up with the Ouija boards. We were fed up with the table tipping. We were fed up with the mirror scrying and everything else that you
glass divination.
Yeah.
And
I started with that.
Yeah, we wanted to investigate.
Yeah.
So obviously that's when we stepped away from the events as well. And then we just went out on our own every now and then. We have friends like, you've been with us yourself. We have friends coming with us, which is nice.
And then I got my driving license, so we can places.
But we kind of I miss the social side of it.
I know.
Because it's not that it's always just me and Ali, you know what I mean?
But it is.
But it is. We investigate together,
dear.
So
Yeah, I know what you mean. When I used to do the odd event, I used to do about 3 or 4 a year, my old team back in the day, and the pressure I used to feel within myself, maybe the others didn't, I don't know, but for myself, until we always used to start with the Ouija board, just to get the juices flowing, and as soon as that started moving, I'm like, yes, this is going to be a good night, because if that didn't move, I'm thinking, ooh, this could be a long night.
It's hard because everybody, like Ali says, all the guests are looking at you to say, well, now then, what's going to happen now?
Yeah.
And it's hard if it's quiet.
But what we did offer was we offered a psychic and spiritual opening.
That's
because
good.
I do
we
an
did
opening,
that, yeah.
like, and then a closing. And I remember being at Gresley Hall, and I did an opening, and then at the end I did a closing. And
Yeah.
this elderly woman was there at our, well, I think she was definitely alive, but she was there as a guest. She was definitely a guest. She just started clapping, and I'm thinking,
Oh.
nobody's ever clapped at the end of a ghost hunt before.
Yeah, but she loved
But
it,
she
didn't
said, I've never ever been on an event and somebody's opened and then closed it the way you've just. And I was like, oh, right.
Oh, that's good.
Just, you know what I mean? And it's like, I understand a lot of people don't believe in the whole protection. It's not so much protection. It's opening all your chakras, your 7 main chakras, all the way up, and then you are closing them down at the end.
Yeah.
So if your main chakras are aligned and they are open up past the crown, you are more perceptible to then pick up and possibly get a personal experience.
Yeah.
My opinion with it, because you're getting yourself into that alpha state where a lot of clairvoyance is conducted from. You know, so it's like a bit of like a dreamlike state kind of thing. So that's what I did in events. Then we did a psychic tour. You know, you'd go around the building going, oh, what are you picking up there? And all this kind of stuff. A lot of people get quite excited by that, don't they?
Yeah.
And then you get the other ones that are going, well, I'm picking up this and I'm picking up this. Yeah, brilliant. Excellent. You know,
Crack on.
We did it. That's the guests we're picking up on this. That. Well, that's brilliant because it says they weren't.
And it's their event,
You know,
you know?
it's their event.
Exactly. They're there to experience something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was fun. But
so we're going to do it again.
we're going to do
right?
it again. And do you know where it has been mentioned? But I suppose I'll have to email them. Is the place you've been to recently, Miki? Gainsborough.
Oh, I went there Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. The Old Nick.
I've been to the Old Nick once. I did an event there actually, quite a while ago, well, a few years ago. What's it like now?
Obviously, I'd never been there before. I hadn't heard anything about the place at all. I just know the guys that run it, so I went along. I thought the male and female cells were amazing. I love old police cells. Brilliant. The theatre area.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. It's like a little mini theatre. It's brilliant. But the group, we started down in the cells, and the other half of the group were upstairs in the theatre. Well, they had one of the chairs come down for a couple of seconds and then bounce back up again. Nowhere near it on that side. We didn't capture that, and I'm really disappointed because I thought, wow. But they didn't get it on video, but they all heard it in the room, and they saw it bouncing. So that's amazing.
Is it worth doing then, the Old Nick?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
As an event,
I would.
You said that so there's different levels then, where you could send a group going upstairs and you could do the cells downstairs kind of thing and take it.
You don't have to have a small group. It is small.
Is it?
Yeah,
small?
we had like 2 groups of 5, so it's quite small. So you've got 2 male cells next to each other. Round the other side of the corridor, you've got 2 female cells, and then you've got little like museum rooms of how the police station used to look, how they would have their living room set up, things like that, and a shop. With mannequins and that, and then upstairs you've got like the base room, the little bar area, and then you've got the theatre, and then like a dressing room behind the theatre. So that's pretty much it. But it's really good. Never been there, but I was really impressed. I really enjoyed it.
Might think about that.
Yeah, it's a few years ago I went. It's probably changed a little bit now. It's probably been done up.
I tell you that we had a shocking experience at when we did an event at Morecambe Winter Gardens.
Oh, I've been there, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Under the
stairs.
Under the stage. Actually, under it. I was calling out and trying to connect to something more kind of sinister in a sense. Weird. And I got something, and it was I was asking for this, that. The next thing, going a little bit darker, possibly deeper down into the undergrowth, kind of underworld of the spirit world in a sense.
Yeah.
And what I seen coming out of a brick wall was like a white face, like a witch, straggly hair.
Oh wow.
Like,
Yeah.
I screamed. Girl, I literally screamed like proper high pitch.
Actually, right.
And then the metal chair behind us all dragged it on the ground, and we were gone.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
We were gone. We were gone.
Yeah.
Think I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
But when you look back, you know, like some of the like that Morecambe Winter Garden is such an old event, isn't it? It's proper like old school Morecambe.
Yeah,
Very much so. Yeah.
Definitely. So when you look back at all them kind of locations,
do they still do them there?
do they still do Morecambe?
I don't know. I went there. God, maybe 2014, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was about
yeah.
then, 2015.
Yeah.
No, was it?
No.
Yeah.
14 it was.
Was it?
Yeah. Just after
Yeah,
a year after we
yeah,
got
it probably
together,
was,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we spoke to the caretaker or the owner, this old gentleman, and he was just going to rent it out to us for like 120 quid for the night. And I'm like, wow, yes, please. But then I'm not sure what happened. We never got in contact for some reason.
What the heck? Because it was
But,
a guy
yeah.
called Andy.
I found
Andy
Morecambe
did that.
really interesting.
It was.
Yeah.
There was a
Really
split. There was a
interesting.
divide. There was one side that wasn't that bad, and then there was another side that was really sinister.
Yeah,
It was
like
weird. It
Morecambe.
was like split down the middle. But that was a decent place, and it's massive, huge.
It is big. Yeah, you can split up groups quite easily, can't you?
But I think if we were to come back and do an event, I think we would have to possibly look at somewhere quite big. But I don't know if they still do Strelly Hall though, don't they? Stuff like
I
that.
don't want to do
No, it's pretty old school, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you need something.
So if you know anywhere, Mickey, that's decent enough,
Yeah.
That ain't
Oh.
expensive. Yeah.
or we could do what's it called? Oh, what's that one in Nottingham? The Galleries of Justice,
Justice. Yeah.
or something like
I
that.
like the Galleries of Justice.
Because we did the caves, didn't we? They were really good. The caves were brilliant.
The only trouble is with the caves, you've got the constant, the trams
Oh,
go
yeah.
over the top.
Yeah.
And that to me, that
They weren't very
there's
big
too
though
much-
either.
No, there was too much noise pollution. It ruined it for me. To be fair, I
Yeah.
did like it was interesting, but I just think the trams kind of ruined the caves.
I think we kind of miss, I suppose, it's a weird one, Mickey, because the way I see it, like YouTube, right? There's
Yeah.
not a lot of people who are doing YouTube paranormal who have been actually in the paranormal field.
No, it's all YouTubers doing paranormal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you hear them and it'll be like, oh, but I've been into the paranormal since I was 10. Oh, okay.
Do you think
You know.
do you think they actually do the paranormal because they enjoy the paranormal because it's easy to do the paranormal?
To become YouTubers.
I think they watch the Americans do it,
Yeah.
like the big American accounts that started off with urbex, that now go into ghost hunting, and like oh my gosh, Mosaji, Sam and Colby,
Yeah.
exploring with Josh. Although I do quite like exploring with Josh.
Yeah.
Exploring with fighters in the UK. They all started off exploring, traveling the world, and now they all do paranormal because I think it's the in thing. It gets more views, more clicks,
Yeah.
because their audience, they can supposedly fake all their stuff. I don't know.
No.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And clickbait again. It's always a demon.
Always.
So
We're still searching. We're still looking at that demon.
But that's what I believe, because we started off actually in the paranormal field, actually within the paranormal.
yeah, so did I. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yourself, and that's where I think we're kind of missing maybe a little bit of that. I don't know, of kind of like, the people, I suppose, side of it. It's like you kind of leave people behind when you're going into YouTube. You see, we're trying to be as true as we can, and if we catch anything, you will know it's 100% real. Like the Clop Hill thing, that freaked us out because we knew we were the only people at Clop Hill, and we knew we were nowhere near the inside of that church.
So you've been to Clop Hill.
Yes. Yeah. Many times.
Have you been there since the census been there?
What, when they cleaned it up?
No, the sensors.
Yeah. And they've got
Yes, but they weren't working when I was there.
So
Right.
this is right. So when you go back, obviously, like you've seen the Clophill one.
Yeah, and it started going off, didn't it?
Your
Yeah.
alarm goes off. So
Brexit.
we've been at this church. We've been at Clophill. So I've done Clophill before, many years ago. Did
With-
it
with Nick.
Nick Stepani
Yeah.
and then we all did Clophill. So this is going back a long time ago.
And Don, wasn't it?
And I think Don.
Don Phillips.
Yeah, I think he was there, to be fair.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I said to Ali, let's go to Clophill. So off we went to Clophill.
Never
So
again.
we were there for, God, we were there for ages, weren't we? 2-3 hours, would you say?
Yeah, no, but
2.5 hours maybe. I don't know.
I don't
So
know.
we're there, and where we were on the outside of the church, that's where we were, to be fair. Apart from walking around like a couple of times.
we didn't go through it.
So we was like, obviously, like the sensor went off. But it's like, if it was us, how did we set the sensor off?
You know, the thing
Because
is,
we've
though,
been there that long. We've been there for hours.
we were asking for things to happen at that point as well.
And it says that the sensor's inside the church.
Yeah, you can see him in the corner, because when I got there, I looked at my night vision camera to see if there was IR glare. So I know they were working, and there wasn't. So, like you say, internally, they face down into the centre of the church.
That's why we never went in, because he says we're not going in the church, because if we set the sensors off,
That's it.
our night's over, game over. We've come all this way to do an investigation, and the night will be over. So we stayed on the outside of the church, and we was there for probably 2.5-3 hours.
Yeah.
And then obviously we're asking, and they went off.
They went off literally as we were asking for things. Then it sounded.
And I know, like some people are like, "Well, the sensors there." Yes, we know there were sensors there.
The thing is,
we
though,
didn't go in the church or do anything.
a comment
set them
even said
Maybe we did.
because we put. Well, we were nowhere near it. Nowhere
I'm
near
just
it.
asking Miki if he knew about the sensors, because he's been.
That we put, facing hell at Clophill, right?
Yeah.
Somebody said you didn't face anything. The only thing you faced was something really offensive, and I just went delete, right? But the thing is, though, the reason why we said, and you know why, we said we faced hell, because what does the church said to face?
If you know Clophill, then the church faces hell.
Yeah.
It faces the wrong way.
So we faced hell.
Yeah, and if you go round anti-clockwise 13 times, Satan appears.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that one. I would have tried that.
I did that back in the day. Very tiring. Nothing happened. No.
Sneaky place though, isn't it, Clophill? Clophill is a sneaky place.
It used to be a lot scarier now than it is now, because obviously they've got those little cabins, haven't they, for walkers and ramblers.
Yeah.
And they painted it all. And before it was graffiti with like Satan stuff and worshipping all over the walls, and it was pretty dark at that point.
I mean,
luckily, when we did Clophill and we put our video out,
that was luck.
There was a guy that had just done a story.
Peter, he's like a
storyteller.
he's a writer for 14 magazine.
Yeah. Okay.
Paranormal magazine.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he'd done one on Clophill. So his video basically went out about the same time as ours. So we commented saying, "Oh, we've just done Clophill as a paranormal investigation." So obviously, as people were watching,
he said, "Share your link."
So as people,
nice.
All right then.
Yeah, and then people from them were then clicking onto ours. So
it's gone over 3,000.
Yeah, so we've gone over 3,000.
Wow.
Which
I
to
couldn't
some
believe it.
channels, obviously, that's nothing.
I know
but,
they get that in the first 10 minutes. Well.
Yeah, I know they do. Yeah, I get 4.
But,
That's what we're like.
Yeah,
the first 10 minutes, it's like we do a premiere, and Sadie says we shouldn't do premieres anymore because we've only got 3 people in there.
Well,
and it's usually me and Sadie, then one other.
We
do
get more than 3 views.
No, we do. Oh yeah.
I just sometimes, with the premieres and that, I don't know. You get busy in life, and sometimes, as much as I want people to view the video, and sometimes I think I'm a bit lazy. Like, I can't go and sit and watch it with them.
I mean, it's all about trying to. Apparently, it's about growing communities and all that kind of stuff, and
interacting. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I get that.
I like the idea of it and everything like that, and I'd like to build that, and get to a great point, because I've just, as you'll know, Mickey, it's a very, very expensive game when you're filming stuff. mean, how many cameras have you bought?
I've bought loads over the years. I'm trying to streamline them now. I've only got 2. I've got a GoPro for like vlogging times, and then I've got my night vision camera. I used to have 2 of them. I got rid of one recently because I needed money.
Yeah.
So,
quite right. We've just gone ridiculous because everyone. I went ridiculous.
Him.
Blame me.
No, because it's like everyone will say, talking about trying to get future proofing the cameras for 4K, right?
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to get the Sony AX53 for ages, and I just thought, sod it, I'm going to get it. And it's one of them where you just think, right, I've got that. So
I've got the 33.
33, which is
AX33
the same thing.
Yeah, the 4K one.
Yeah, it's practically the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the 53 I think is a better model.
Yeah, but it's probably
basically the same.
It's probably just a new sensor or something like that.
Yeah.
But I've still got the Canon M50, which I love, by the way. I love that. I've got a Sigma 1.4
aperture
lens. It's like 16 millimeter, but it's brilliant. But it's not good for 4K because the crop sensor just crops in, and you're like this.
Yeah.
You're like this right up against there. You know what I mean? And it's awful for that. But I just thought to myself, I'm going to do that. Then all of a sudden, I went a bit mad. Bought a new, a MacBook Pro. Thought, sod it, I'm just going to get one of them.
That was the holiday gone.
And that was everything gone. That was just, and thought, now I need an extra screen. Bought that. Went all the way to Nottingham for this to, shut it off so I feel like there's a little bit of a space for me to do it.
Little office.
I confess my sins.
That's what it's like, isn't it? Oh, dear. And what I tried Premiere Pro, could not get a hold of it at all, Mickey. And I got my £25 back for the first month. I tried DaVinci Resolve, which, by the way, if I had the time, DaVinci Resolve would be the best one. But I don't have the time to just sit there and so Movafi.
I use that. I used that because you used that back in the day.
And it's easy, Mickey, isn't it?
It's like an easy version of Premiere Pro or Final Cut.
Yeah, Final Cut. I would say it is because it's like a magnetic timeline.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. When you move something and then it moves everything and you're like, wind it up. But it's either that or Filmora. Filmora's pretty decent. I know Ghostoul Paranormal in America, Jade, she uses that. And that's pretty decent. But Movavi, there's nothing wrong with it. No. There's nothing wrong with it. And how would you even know? You don't really know what, to the quality of the video of what we're using to other people. You can't.
No. You can do effects on there. You can put writing up. You can do transitions. You can split screen, add different sounds. Yeah.
And it's a lot cheaper, isn't it, than £260 a year for Premiere Pro.
Well, I paid the £75 back in 2020, and I'm still using the same one. I've not paid since.
So you paid the lifetime one, yeah?
I don't know. Did I? Maybe.
Yeah, you've probably got it for life.
Yeah. That's
decent, though.
It's brilliant. I still use it every day, near enough.
If you tag in Movavi, right, and say they'll send you a message and say, I'm looking forward to seeing your video and stuff. And they're really nice people, but you don't get that from anywhere else, do you?
No.
We've had that a couple of times, haven't we? And then they're like, show us the video that you've done and everything like that. And then they don't look at it. But, the thought's there.
Yeah, that's the thought that counts.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I was aiming to go for some Premiere Pro, but I just can't get the hang of it. And
it's very in-depth and complicated. I
don't understand how people are having the time, because we certainly don't have the time.
No.
We're busy all the time.
Well, I've not got a clue anyway. I'm clueless.
I'm clueless.
I sit and watch.
That's right. I've just got the video production.
Hey.
He's vital.
Why not? How'd you do this? Page 47.
Learn. Yeah. You just learn as you go along, though, Mickey, don't you?
That's all you can do. You're learning every day. Same with the paranormal, the investigations. Absolutely. No one knows everything. You're still learning every time you go out.
was having this conversation earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, but
good old.
Who actually knows?
Yeah.
You've got that, Miki, haven't you?
And the other one, yeah.
And that one.
Yeah.
Quality ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
So,
thing.
are you both believers
Oh my
in
God, yeah.
the afterlife? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. You know,
Yeah.
I've given and gathered evidence enough to
Yeah.
say that there's something. I think we would be naive to think there's nothing else.
Well, the
Yeah.
fact that you communicate with spirit like on a different level to me and Sadie would.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I would have thought you would be a believer anyway. I mean, I know you can be certain skeptical about certain evidence and that, but if you're getting messages or seeing spirits, then from what I would guess, you would definitely believe.
100%. And
Yeah.
you've probably believed as well more with some of the evidence I've been giving people in, you know, readings that because I used to do them from home and everything like that. People would come round, and it'd be people that Sadie might know as well. And then, you know, they would be, one person would be in having a reading with me, and then they'd be the other person would speak to Sadie, and then they'd come out and then speak to Sadie. And the information, they've said to you, haven't they? That it's like, oh my God, you know, how could you even know this about me? Do you know what I mean? So it's like, and this is happening a lot, not just once or twice, you know. So you kind of think to yourself, there's something there, you know.
I think as well, though, obviously, you'll probably feel this as well. We get a little bit greedy with it, with the paranormal. So, you know, when you do EVPs and stuff like that, we don't realise how, if you just get one little EVP, how important it is, where a lot of the time now it's brushed off because if you're getting the bangs and the, you know, and the knocks and everything, then people are not really, really interested.
All right, sorry.
No, sorry, what was I going to say? Miki was going to
say. The EVPs are like the holy grail, aren't they, for investigations? And I think, like you say, people do brush them off. Oh yeah, we get 6 of them every episode. It's like, no, you don't. You're probably overlaying them, you know, or it's just a noise in the background somewhere. If you get clear voices out of thin air, then wow.
I mean, years ago we used to go with like our little dictaphones and like my little Olympus, and I'd be there for hours, and I'd get back, I'd go to an event, and then I'd get back and I'd be lying in bed falling asleep, like going through like all my EVPs and all the recording through the night, and then you'd upload it.
But we still do that.
What did we used to upload it to?
Audacity.
Audacity.
We have used.
I used to use that.
Use that for our next video.
Ooh.
And had to put it on as well. But this is the thing, though. We watched Justin, one of his episodes, and he was saying he had Steve Parsons on. And Steve Parsons,
the Paranormal Monkey podcast.
So he was saying, Steve Parsons was saying,
I saw that one.
Respect the audio, and that just stuck with me. I thought, you know what? He's right. We do need to respect the audio, because a lot of audio, we just maybe and we just throw it away.
I think that is because a lot of people don't understand it. So you have got like these YouTubers that go out like ghost hunting and do obviously like all the YouTube and that, but they
for an hour
probably
at a time.
don't understand like not the proper paranormal, but the proper way to investigate.
Yeah.
You know, like people like Steve Parsons and.
Thing is, though, that's another subject on its own, is the proper way to investigate. What's that then? You know, because you know we can bring out rule books, and we can bring out you can read all the textbooks you like, right? And it's not a little bit. You may become a little bit of a better investigator, but a lot of it's common sense. You know, a lot of it is. You know, a lot of people are saying, don't use any of this equipment, it's all rubbish, okay? Which I understand and get. A lot of it is rubbish. But for me, it's all about sound and vision.
Yeah.
So bring back the old EVP sessions. And that's what we did in our recent one. Yeah. It's bringing back the old EVP sessions. And holding your breath, Miki, you know
don't breathe. That was me. Sorry.
Don't whisper.
That's the worst thing you can do.
Everybody does it. You know what I mean? There's 60 seconds of holding your breath, you know, and then going, right, let's play it back. But playing it back in real time with your, you know, to your whatever you're recording your video with, you know, to listen back. And that to me is investigating, you know.
But you look at it this way: how many people capture a ghost on video? 0.1% probably. How many voices do you capture?
Hardly any.
No, but what I'm saying is you're more likely to capture audio, voices, bangs, knocks, breaths, strange growls that you can't really find the source of.
Yeah.
So people should, like you say, should respect the audio more, because that is your main thing. You're not going to capture a ghost walking around a corner, walking up the stairs, saying hello.
Could you imagine? Well, that'd be amazing. You know,
they are pushed off so quick, and you think, like, when you're connecting, you know, trying to connect the spirit, how much energy it takes for them to like bring an EVP to you, and it's like, oh, it's only a knock, it's only sound, it's only a breath, you know. No,
it's a lot of effort.
It's a lot of effort
and energy,
and it's a lot of. If it's real, then it's good evidence of the paranormal.
But I don't believe people are investigating for a long period of time, right?
No.
I don't believe they are going through their footage over and over again, going, wait a minute, oh, let's rewind that, and again, and rewind, you know what I mean? But we're going through absolutely everything. And then it's like when people will say to Sadie, when's your next video coming out? When's the next? And it's like, well, and then you come to me and go, oh, such and such has been asking me when's the next video. And then I'm like going, well, I've still got another 3 hours to go through, listening away and visually seeing as well. Because that's where that thing in Hull came from. I didn't see it. It was Sadie. She's seen a flash of light and she went, oh, what's that? And then I went, oh, what? And then all of a sudden, you know, I changed a little bit of lighting, and then it was just like, boom. Oh my God, what's that? And it was like, that's like one of the only things we've really got. Do you know what I mean?
Think like sometimes, sometimes you could go week after week after week, can't you? Yeah. You get nothing. You get absolutely nothing. And then you kind of think to yourself, oh, is the paranormal real? Then you start questioning it. But then once in a while you'll go and you'll get something and you think, this is the reason why I come. This is the reasons why we don't pack in.
It's always the hope of the next location we might get something.
This is why you can't pack in.
Yeah.
You want to what if. And I think the last investigation that we did, then it's just it was really good.
That was heart pumping. I mean, put it this way, Miki. I said to Sadie, get me the torch, and we've got a Strangest Things torch, by the way.
Hey.
Long, like, metal thing.
Yeah.
She said, grab me that. I could use it as a torch. Because I literally thought it was somebody. Yeah. I thought it was
protection. And
you know, when you just think, wait a minute, you know, who's that going to be? I don't know who they're going to be. But there was nobody.
Wow. You know, so what episode is this?
This is the one that's
coming out next week.
Come out Sunday.
So obviously this will probably, your video will be out by the time people see this. So what, have you got a name for this video yet?
Oh. See, I don't know, but it's probably going to be wait a minute.
Put him on the spot now.
I can't remember. No, because you know the weirdest thing, where we get a little bit uncomfortable sometimes.
We don't worry
with
about
the title,
but we do.
We do get a little bit uncomfortable because we think to ourselves, but you think it needs a cliffhanger though.
It does. Sometimes you just put where you are, and it's like no one watches it. It's like,
you can't say we went off to Birmingham and had a lovely ghost hunt.
They were watching us.
So it will be hopefully called spine-chilling proof of the afterlife. So haunted, we quit.
There you go, guys. When you listen and watching this, make sure you go check out the channel. Go watch that episode.
It's not clickbait because we did actually quit.
All right, don't tell them.
We did.
Oh wow!
Can I say,
I wanted to go home.
That was the first time Sadie's ever said, basically, get me out of here. I don't like it. I want to go. I don't feel right. Get me out.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Wow.
When
Can't
Sadie
wait.
says that, you run.
You've got to go.
We're going.
You know, you mentioned that TV show that
Oh.
we've had that chat in McDonald's that time.
Another hour.
Do you know what? Because it's true and because it's real.
Yeah.
You know, my story on it. Everyone knows anyway.
Oh, okay.
Everyone knows who knows. Do you know what I mean? In a
Yeah.
sense. So obviously in 2014, 2015, I think it was, I came up with an idea of help I'm being haunted.
Yeah.
Right? And thought, I wrote, by the way, a massive television treatment, a proper treatment, okay, to send. Now, I started off by just a quick, snappy version of it, and I emailed it off to HauntexTV. Can't remember who it was. Dan Thomas or something like that. So I emailed over to this guy anyway. And that was at the time when Emma Sparks was working for HauntexTV and everything. Really TV. And I think she was quite high up or something like that.
She was involved with Most Haunted, I think. When they were on there.
She was quite high up there. So I sent it off to them, and I got back, wow, this is brilliant. And I went, oh, okay. So here we go by email, and they're saying we'll need a pilot. So I thought, oh, okay, can you do a pilot? And I was like, absolutely. So first of all, we really went really amateurish and went with our mobile phones trying to do this, and just ridiculous. And then I reached out to a friend of mine, Danny Allen, who he used to be a runner on Tracy Beaker, and he's done film and television at university. Okay, his friend is Eddie Lane. Eddie Lane went to university to do film and television as well, and is an indie filmmaker. And their friend, called Josh White, is a very good director of photography who does commercials, other TV, and other indie films, right? Yeah. So they said they would come and help us do the pilot, right? So it was professionally dealt with using Red camera, Red, the cinematic camera.
Yeah, I've seen that,
Lens was about 30 grand, That's the kind of, equipment we were talking about. We were using it like a broadcast Sony, that we didn't use night vision, because my idea was we were going to have red. We were just going to go red lights instead of night vision. With that, because it was slightly different. Yeah. The whole thing we did at someone's house who actually
We went to Oxford.
Yeah, we went to Oxford. An actual person who had a haunting issue and everything like that. The idea was, I was going to be outside, which I literally did, by the way. It wasn't that warm. I was outside. So the idea was to then have like a big RV type thing outside where I would be sitting, thing. But we didn't have that at that point. That was in the treatment for development. So I basically stood outside, puffing away at the time. Stop now. So we were stood outside. Eddie Lane was doing the interview of the person, what's happening, what's going on. Eddie Lane's very skeptical anyway, really skeptical. And then I came in, did my bit, and came away with stuff that was unbelievable, and really, I suppose, helped the person, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And everything I was coming out with was really connected to them. And then I was able to do a reading, a mini reading in kind of suppose towards the end of it, to basically say why this person's here, and here they are. He's relaying a message to them. They understood it, and thought, oh my goodness, kind of thing. Then we did a bit of an energy clearance at the end, and the idea was actually to bring trance mediumship into it, as well. Obviously, TV didn't really like that part of it, kind of thing. So we did that, and then they said, now we put it up to Vimeo, and on Vimeo you can really tell here, how many people are viewing it at a time. And
Yeah. It's a good service.
It was getting passed around, right? Because we weren't watching it, someone was, and the only people we give it to was Really, and it was getting passed about. It was getting viewed, so it got screened at Really. Okay,
Really TV.
Yeah, so they screened it themselves and everything. So I then got an email back saying we'll love it and everything like that. So would you be able to give us 12 episodes? Now, I couldn't do that because these guys that I had were actual professionals. So we figured out that it was going to cost about, $4 or $5 grand, possibly $6 grand per episode to be able to make this.
Yeah.
For people to actually get paid, and actually because they're professionals in this and they would have to edit it, and
we couldn't do it.
We just couldn't do it. So I said, no, sorry, I can't do that unless you want to commission this and give me the money up front. All we'd be looking to acquire it. So
yeah, that's what they used to do. They want a series of possibly 6 episodes to 12 already in place, so they can just buy it, put it on the telly.
Yeah, so they wanted an acquisition kind of thing, not to commission it kind of thing. So I was like, okay, me being naive, just naive, right? Didn't go out and copyright. I just thought sending an email to myself with the idea would have been enough. Not really. And we didn't really hear anything from it. I said, sorry, I can't do this kind of thing. Is there anything else we can do? No, there's that. So I went to CBS Reality, and a lovely lady there just basically said, look, we've had a look at it. It sounds boring kind of thing. It's like, okay, fair enough. I went other places, and I just got the advice of release it online. Just release it online and get the interest going, right?
Okay.
I had screening. I had people screening this. So I had, before anything, I had like comments, was it? I suppose feedback from private screenings, and lists of people saying how great it was and this is what the paranormal needs. So I'm giving this to Really as well. And then all of a sudden, I get tagged in a post. Zach Bagans is the executive producer, and it's Help My House is Haunted. And it was actually Lee Roberts that came to me and went, mate, this is really bad. I can't believe this. And I was like, and then I felt a little bit like, all right, mate, no need to, give it a bit of a punch in the face. I realize it's really bad, right?
Yeah.
I was getting that a lot. I was getting private messages of people going, haha, Really TV, have nicked your idea.
People started as well then, obviously, like people that knew us and knew
we're going to them.
And they were tagging in Zach Bagans then and saying, this is not your show. This is like, this is his show. Yeah. So
it was really bad at the time.
Yeah, it was.
So I got in contact with Really, because they followed me on X, Twitter, and basically said, "Oh, you can't kind of say this kind of stuff." And I was like, "Well, I can because it's true and it's real, and it is because I've got all the emails here and everything like that." And then they just kind of went with me, and then I went to their lawyers kind of thing, and I said, this is bag out of order and everything like that. Basically, what I got told was back-to-back productions have been working on this since 2014. Yeah, okay. And further to that, back-to-back comes to me asking for all my contacts.
No, fuck off.
Really good. I think the reply at the time was a little bit 2 words, but
yeah.
You can actually Google it because our local newspaper obviously wrote a story.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So even now you can go. I was showing somebody actually at work the other day, and you could go onto Google and find the newspaper clipping of the write-up they did and what year it was and that. So. But
the thing is, though, usually they give you a finder's fee, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So it's usually the weirdest thing in this that actually when that was coming out, I had a producer came to me just after that and said, "Hi, Ally, I'm a TV development producer. I've seen what's been going on, and I've been following your work and everything like that. I'd like to speak to you about this, that, next thing. So I then had a long time of creating more ideas for television, right, with this other producer, which I became kind of friendly enough with the guys on my Facebook, and that he's a lovely guy. It's just very, very difficult to get anything in television these days.
It's awful, the way it works.
Ideas I had past beyond Help I'm Being Haunted have been very, very, very bloody good, but it's very difficult to get anywhere or get a producer.
Paranormal really works on TV anymore anyway.
It doesn't. It's boring.
It's a bit old school now.
I'm a little bit annoyed with how not annoyed with, because I am the creator of that. I created that show, right?
Yeah.
But it's not going in the direction, it hasn't gone in the direction that I certainly wrote in my treatment how it would be going, because that is not getting thrown across rooms and all that. Is not how I wrote that show to be.
No, and little imps. Little imps and gremlins.
Where's the show now?
I have no idea.
Is it still going even?
Yeah,
they're on, I think, series 7 of the normal people, and I think they've had like 3 or 4 series of celebrities now, so they are really milking it,
Where's it shown?
Discovery Plus.
Oh, Discovery Plus.
So I mean, the thing is, though, no one ever understands that. Yeah, I was a little bit bitter. I was a little bit pissed off with that.
I can imagine you would be. I'd be gutted. My heart would be like. Oh.
I was told by a producer that I became kind of pally with after that, and he basically said, kind of thing, I could have had 350 grand. Do you know what I mean? In this, when you just think, bloody hell, they didn't even want me for even to be the medium.
We'll nick your show, and you can go away. We don't want you.
But do you know what? Do you know what though? Before that, I got asked to do something else, and someone else got the gig instead of me. I was originally in Ghost Chasers. So I got asked to be the medium, though the psychic, for Ghost Chasers.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they said, last minute it was, wasn't it? They literally said the channels decided to go with someone else. And I went, oh.
That didn't happen anyway, did it?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Did it?
With Ian and Paul. And I can't remember who the other was on it.
Chris Howley.
Chris, was it?
Yeah, from Woodchester Mansion,
Yeah. So I know Paul Hobday was there with it, but I spoke to Paul a long time ago when they did Paranormal Investigation at Menzies Castle in Scotland, if you remember that, with GPS, and then all those years ago. That was meant to take over from Most Haunted, but it didn't. But yeah, there's been loads of things, but these ideas I've had and everything after that, I wished they'd gone somewhere, because I tell you something, they were, 2 of them anyway, were really, 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 really good. But it's one of them, and it's just really, really difficult. We get. I had recently, didn't I? Like the press, I don't know what, journalists kind of things coming to me saying, "Hi, Ally, I did a thing on you before for what was it, Fortune something, Fate and Fortune magazine."
Oh yeah.
Ages ago, and I went, all right, and they were wanting more from it. And when you just think, nah, I can't be arsed, can't be bothered. I don't want to be pushed out. Back out into like whatever you want to call it, your limelight or whatever. I'm just not. We're happy doing what we're doing. You know what I mean?
That's the main thing. That's what's really important.
Well, I think as well, when there's limelight, there comes drama.
Oh,
yeah. Jealousy, backstabbing, lies.
You don't want it. You don't.
No.
You don't want drama.
That's maybe
You
why our
just don't want
YouTube
drama.
channel's not doing very well. The universe is saying, no, you don't want all the drama.
You don't want all the drama. You're right.
You
You
just
don't want all the
can't be
drama.
bothered with it. Honestly, this is
No.
the thing.
But you're staying honest and true, and that's all you can ask for.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I call it. Some people call it para unity. I call it para puberty.
Yeah, children. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So that does lead me on to a question.
Oh,
How do you see the paranormal community at the moment?
divided, I suppose.
Do you know what? Oh God! Don't even get me started.
Oh dear, they'll be all looking for us.
Do you want drama?
No,
No, I'm only joking.
no. Do you know what? It's not drama. It's just
Oh,
truth.
God.
It's truth, yeah.
Paranormal. Do you know what? I don't even feel like we're even a part of the paranormal community at all.
No.
At all. You see, like you say, you've got the paranormal community as such, and then you've got the YouTubers.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like a massive divide.
And because we're on YouTube, it's like
I don't
people
even
think we're part of,
Yeah,
that, and it's
I
like
don't
no,
even think-
no.
we're not even YouTubers. We just like to show people, you know.
I'm
what we
like
do,
you,
I
Mickey.
guess.
I like to film stuff and I like to edit. Then then edit it, then put it out. You know what I mean? But the main thing is the paranormal. I think the paranormal now is divided into cliques. You know,
Very. I
there's a lot-
said this the other week. Very much so.
You know, there's the people that want to go to the parameets and everything like that. Then there's another parameet that's been copied from that one to another one, and it's a paracon. And then it's like all these people who are more YouTubers are going to be big speakers and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, what we're going to talk about then, guys? Because you've been into the paranormal.
12
How long?
minutes.
You know what we're going to
I
be
think-
talking about.
Yeah, I think that's what I struggle with. You see, like these people, and everybody's deserves to come forward like anybody else. Nobody's
Exactly.
better than
Yeah.
anybody else. Not,
No.
I'm not saying that.
No.
But you get these speakers that have probably been in the paranormal for 6 months, and they're like, "Sorry, who are you?"
When we've done
No, not-
the conventions.
Yeah.
I did one in Wales after we got married in 2016, and I did a massive talk. Barry Fitzgerald was there. He
Oh,
had
yeah.
a really interesting talk, really interesting. And then my one, I did my talk about a little bit touched upon what happened to me when I was younger and everything like that, all the way up. Yeah, I think they were possibly sleeping by the end of it, but I don't think they were. But then we showed the first bit of Help, I'm Being Haunted at that point as
wow.
well on the big screen and everything
Yeah.
like that. And it was really good. But I was talking about paranormal experiences, the paranormal in itself, mediumship development, everything like that. But you think to yourself, these people have been, in paranormal since COVID kind of thing, to try to maybe be a YouTuber, to maybe, hey, don't knock it. If you want to be a full-time YouTuber, yes, please. I would like to do that and travel the world, like Amy's Crypt, and investigate all these amazing places. Absolutely. But in reality, right now, I have a normal job, and I had to even come away from my mediumship and everything like that full time, and life coaching and everything like that full time, because I needed to be in full time employment so I could have holidays and paid holidays. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you could go and do stuff. Yeah.
I would love to be a full time paranormal investigator, YouTuber, doing that kind of stuff. Absolutely. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just, all of a sudden we've got the people who've been in doing paranormal investigating, ghost hunts, whatever, for a small period of time. Then they are the head speakers of this. It's like, whatever, maybe they've learned that much. I don't know. As Sadie said, we don't have a right to say who can come into the paranormal or not. Not at all. Not at all. Anyone can do the paranormal. Anyone can investigate the paranormal. Anyone at any stage. Any doesn't matter. But it's about having ethics, good ethics, and it's about being sensible as well and being respectful and being honest to yourself with
But
it.
there is a thing you'll find though. There's people that do the paranormal that put their evidence on YouTube. They normally last. YouTubers that do the paranormal, they do it for a while. It's like until it bores them or the views aren't as high as they were, and then they go do something else.
Yeah.
So that's where you'll realise the paranormal people will come through and they will last and they'll keep going. Yeah. They'll get the highs, they'll get the lows.
And we've said that recently. There's not, I mean, maybe there is still people going, but people make up how long they've been doing it anyway. You know, they go, oh, well, I've been doing this since I was 12. You know, when I got the Ouija, oh, right, okay, so you did. You know, but it's literally for us, it's like 2007, 2009, whatever it was with you, with that. And it's like, that is genuinely how long I've been in that, you know? And then you get the people that'll go, all of a sudden they're out of nowhere. You go, oh, never heard of you before, seen you before. And they're like, oh, yeah, I've been doing investigating since 2006. And you're like, oh.
And they're only like 22.
Right.
Yeah.
Or 30 or whatever. And I just don't know. I don't know which direction it's going in and everything. There's a massive difference for YouTube and then the actual paranormal.
I think TikTok, you get TikTok ghost hunters now, and their audience is very gullible, in my opinion.
They're all kids.
They don't realise what really goes into it. They see the TV side and see little clips on TikTok, and they think, oh my god, you know, they don't know the science behind it, the reasoning behind it, the hours it takes to possibly get that sort of evidence. You know.
The thing is, though, as well, it's like people will say, "Oh, I'm a psychic." And it's like, "Oh, wonderful, great." So, what development circle did you sit in? Well, what are you talking about? And it's like, oh, okay then, no problem. I spent hours and hours and hours practicing, learning the theory, everything behind it, having to do so many, you know, sessions and readings and, you know, giving out information and everything like that, connecting over and over and over again before I was even able to say, right, that's a fiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You put the time in, you learn your trade.
Had to do in spiritualist churches, SNU churches, non-SNU churches, having to, you know, do the flagellant side where you do the developing mediums would come on in the second half kind of thing, doing all that from then taking a service, you know, and doing the pubs, the clubs, the psychic parties till 3 o'clock in the morning, ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and I'd done all that, and it's like the big shows and everything like that, done all that, and then it's like all of a sudden someone comes round and they're on YouTube and they're like, well, I'm doing this, and it's like, oh,
okay,
cool.
Yeah.
It's one of these things, because in this world, and especially online, you can be anything.
You could be anybody you want to be.
Yeah, but yes. I think as well, you're seeing like the YouTube channels are starting to change a little bit with all these debunkers that have started coming in.
Yes, definitely.
Like Beardo and that are like going around.
He seems all right though, to be fair.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
He does. He seems like a kind of guy that you'd want to go out with and actually have a pint with. I don't know.
I think he's now obviously like people like Beardo come. Is it like Side-Eyed Guy or whatever his name is?
Yeah, he seems all right.
Now I feel that people in the paranormal are that worried about putting the slightest thing in. They're now going around saying nothing happened tonight.
All of a sudden we noticed that.
Nothing happens.
We've all of a sudden noticed.
I've noticed that as well recently.
Noticed it, on a few channels.
And at the start it'll say, we are not saying that anything in this video is paranormal. It may not be. It
so
may
now
be.
They're all like debunking their own videos that now no paranormal
However,
is happening. But maybe it is, but they don't put it in. Because they're going to be debunked.
However, Griff from the Ouija Brothers did say one really thing that I thought, yes, mate, yes. Because he said about, look, we keep saying it's not. We might be missing actual evidence and just saying and throwing it away and saying it's not because everybody else is saying, well, you can't have catch things in your videos because if you do, you're a fake. No.
Yeah.
Because if you investigate properly and everything like that, you may capture something. So he's right. We shouldn't just be going, oh, no, that must have just been the wind. No, well, if we investigate correctly with that, we might find out that wasn't the wind. That was
exactly, yeah,
real. But it's becoming where people are just turfing it away, going, "Well, we don't want to be outed," and it's like, "What? Why would you be outed? If it's real, it's real.
Exactly.
You can tell it's real, and you can tell real. It's like in like Clop Hill and everything like that. You can tell I properly, and you did properly shit ourselves. We probably did. I mean, I literally ran off, but it's like I maybe shouldn't have. I get it and everything like that. But
I think it was the shock of the alarm as well, more than anything. We weren't
And the fact it's nighttime and it's quiet and suddenly,
it's just me and Ali. Do you know what I mean? And Clop Hill's like.
But I actually think it's a good thing anyway to have any form of debunker and all that anyway, because we should be debunking stuff ourselves, which we do.
I think it helps people, like you say yourselves. You know that if you start putting crazy evidence out there, you know it's not real. You're going to be found out. You're going to be outed. So you work a bit differently.
Yeah. I mean, we just work the way we've always worked for years, you know. But people coming into the paranormal maybe not getting it, and then you know what it's like, Mickey. In the first year of paranormal, when you went investigating for the first year, everything was bloody paranormal. You know, I mean, my God, what's this?
We
you know
don't
what I mean?
struggle putting our footage out. We don't fake anything. If we get something, we do. If we don't, we don't.
Yeah.
We struggle with our titles and that, don't we? What to
We
put?
do.
Because
We
it's,
do.
I don't want to put that. It's too clickbaity.
So do I. Yeah, I have issues.
But then I think to myself, you know what?
You have
Why
that
not?
to a certain extent, but you feel fake for even putting something.
Well, the thing is, though, as long as your content is real, doesn't matter what the title says.
Exactly.
You know, as long as and Steve from the Ouija Brothers said that as well. There's nothing wrong with it because he was told by I think Carl from Dark Arts TV that you know that's where what you kind of have to do. You have to have
brings you traffic.
Yeah, you have to bring people in with something, but as long as it is kind of relatable to your content inside, you know, that's fine. Like when we went to with you, where was it? St.
Crispin's.
Right. Yeah. That comment, I changed that about 3 times. I probably ruined the video actually, because I put the title and it was about demons because it was mentioned. Where do demons come from? Remember?
Yes.
And it said darkness or something like that, and it was like, shit, you know. And I had originally said we were told where demons come from. We don't believe, kind of thing. And then I don't know, something in me just I'll change it to, you know, I think that's changed loads of titles. Ghost Hunting with Mickey York. Ghost Hunting with Spooky Mickey.
Yeah.
To the most haunted asylum in the world. And then it was like, I can't call it that. And then I don't know. And now we just go to ourselves, you know what? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? We're not hurting anyone. We're not harming anyone.
No, exactly.
It's real.
And it's not our living. You know, to me, we're not.
No.
We're not getting paid from this.
No, but our content is 150% completely authentic and real. You know,
and I can vouch to that. I have worked with you too, so
yeah. And you've been there with us, as well.
The thing is, you're just cheating yourself, and I think
there's no point.
What's the point?
Well, there's no point, is there?
No.
You know,
there's no point.
But I could talk to you guys for hours and hours. I've got loads of questions still, but I'll go for the final 2 because we are pushing on. So, your bucket list location, if you could go there tomorrow, where would you go?
You're going to say
back to the boys' school.
Oh, would you?
Yeah. Back to the boys' school. Have you ever been to the boys' school, Mickey?
No.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, God. No. So, yeah, back to the boys' school I'd go. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the most
remember that table
haunted
that
place
moved.
I've ever been.
Remember the table up in that headmaster's office that moved towards us.
That place, honestly, I wouldn't walk around there in the day on my own.
We had the council. Somebody from the paranormal. Somebody from the paranormal grassed us off because they got jealous that we got the place and said that it's not safe. So the council came round.
Oh, wow.
There was 2 blokes and a woman, And I was just writing everything down, going, yep, no problem. I'll make those changes. Yep, no problem. Make sure they're all safe for the events. And he went, I just need to check up there. And I said, yep, oh, absolutely. On you go. Well, he says, what's up the stairs? And I said, the headmaster's office. You'll be fine. Just go up there. And he went out, and then I was like, oh, is he stopped on the stairs or something? And he came running down and he says, I've got to go. I've got a phone call. Boom, never came back.
Oh.
And then the two of them went, I don't know what's wrong with him, what's up with him, but we'll just leave anyway, so everything's fine. You can do your events. You know what I mean? But something happened up there.
Something happened to him upstairs, yeah.
And he came running down, and me and the owner, we were just peeing ourselves, going, oh, well, that was a lucky escape, you know, kind of thing. But for me, I would, if anywhere, we're talking anywhere, I would like for...
Where would you go back to?
Oh, back
No,
to...
it could be anywhere.
Anywhere
in the world.
To the boys' school.
If anywhere in the world we can go, right.
Yeah.
So it would be for a HauntexTV episode.
Yeah.
Me and Sadie, Miki York, and we'd go and have the whole place to ourselves.
Where?
Alcatraz.
Yeah, you're not
Alcatraz.
You're not the first person to say that.
All on our own. That would be epic because it's got stories. It's got haunting stories. It's got like residual and spiritual energy. So I've been told and read about it as well. And that is things like that would just be the dream. But I hear you can't. You've got no chance.
No, I don't think so. But
where would you go, Miki?
I would go to a little house in London.
Oh yes,
the Enfield house.
Yes,
I would love to stay.
We were saying about this.
Does somebody live there?
Yes.
Yeah.
We were saying about this. If I owned that house, I'd move out and I'd rent it out.
Like East Drive.
You'd make loads of money out of that one.
They don't have any happenings or anything, though.
No, apparently no. There's nothing happened. No.
Isn't there something on the window saying about this is a godly place or something like that?
I think so. Yeah, just because they always get people turning up every day taking photos, which is fair enough.
Have you been, Miki?
No, I want to go just to stand outside.
Hiya, mate. YouTube channel.
Or if you could have stepped back in time to Borley.
Or Borley Rectory, yeah. One of them two.
But yeah, if Borley Rectory was still there, that would have been a place. Because that's really where a lot of it all began.
Yeah, Harry Price,
yeah. Seeing the Nun. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would have been a place that,
Yeah.
So they're the places that need investigating. Not just like Margie's house next door, it's really...
Oh, we do have something in the pipeline anyway.
Yeah.
Because we had a meeting with someone, and we don't know how that meeting actually went until we don't know until they email us back. But they did say if they didn't hear anything to email them, so I did, and then they said that they're still in the process of putting feelers out and getting this. So if we get that. I tell you, it's going to be something completely different. Well, it's not completely different. It's still the paranormal and that, but it's just slightly different, and it's not then, having to rely on abandons every single time.
That
we get that.
It's stepping away from abandoned buildings, to be fair.
Well, we still want to do them.
Abandoned building.
Because I don't know, I quite like an abandoned now and again, or maybe an abandoned church, or maybe a graveyard, the big one in Glasgow, the Metro. Oh, I can't remember if it's not called the Metropolitan or it's called something anyway. And it's got like stories of not just like ghosts, hauntings. It's got like vampires and stuff like that, and it's like crazy stuff. But I could get access to a castle, Main's Castle in Dundee, because we got given full access for 250 quid.
Oh, nice.
Overnight. And then he gave us bacon rolls in the morning.
Yeah, he did.
Bacon butties.
Can't beat a nice breakfast.
No.
But nothing happened all night though. But
it was still good.
Apart from the ghost box in the graveyard, where it's, in a Dundonian accent said Ally.
Yeah, it's a little girl.
Little girl.
Oh, wow.
Ghost box
That's cool.
Ally. and it was really like
It was.
we all looked and went, "How weird."
Wow.
Yeah.
And my final question: if you could get rid of one thing in the paranormal right now, what would it be?
Get rid of one thing.
Yeah, equipment, a location, people, ideas, attitudes, anything at all that's involved with the paranormal.
I think for me, get to know the person and their story instead of just their name.
Yeah.
Because that's my experience with things. It's like, get to know me. Get to know my story. Get to know my experience, my knowledge of it as well, instead of just going, oh, well, I heard. Nah, that doesn't cut it for me, I'm afraid.
No.
But get rid of those type of people. The bandwagon people, maybe. I don't know.
That's not just the paranormal.
That's everywhere. That's everywhere.
That's everywhere, yeah.
Get rid of the fakers then, ruining it for us. Okay. What would you get rid of? You would get rid of the drama, probably, and the bull. Yeah.
I don't get involved in the drama.
No.
I'm not on Facebook. I don't see a lot of it. I don't,
No.
I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
You tell me bits and bobs, but...
Yeah, some of it is funny, though. When you see some of it and you just think, what?
It is. You get your popcorn.
You think, what? But I don't know. I don't
know what I'd get rid of.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what I'd get rid of.
Really, in
There's
the
probably
paranormal.
a few people. I'm not going to name, but there is a few.
No.
I'd say just be on your way.
Yeah.
But I won't name.
I think there's a lot of that, though. To be honest with you, Mickey, people don't get to know you as a person and get to know you as maybe what's your experience and how long have you been in the paranormal actually for, and everything like that. They just think, and it's like, oh, okay then, no problem. Then they'll come out with all sorts and we've seen
really, really, really nice people.
Yeah, we have. Like yourself, Mickey.
Yeah.
You see,
that's a positive.
It's a positive, but it's true.
Meeting people.
There's really nice people in the paranormal.
Absolutely, and there's some knowledgeable people in the paranormal as well.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable, yeah.
But it just doesn't need. I think what I've experienced anyway is when you've been getting pushed out from likes of. I've had newspapers phone me up about certain hauntings and all that, and you know what papers are like. They don't print what you're saying.
No.
They make you sound like a right nut job or whatever, And I've had a little bit of, oh, look at these idiots and everything, these twits and stuff like that. And you're like, well, I didn't say any of that, so I don't know what you're going on about. Get to know me and Sadie as well to understand.
To learn the real you as well, yeah.
Yeah, look, we're here for the right reason within the paranormal and always have been connected to the paranormal in the right reason, but it's one of them, isn't it? It's like, as they said, there's some great people out there who you can meet and, who knows, we might end up going to one of the parameets because that was one of my ideas anyway. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
No, I don't mind that.
You get everywhere.
I do like giving ideas and everything like that. But yeah, it's we might end up one of those, meet up with everyone and
that'd be good. That'd be good.
We used to go to them at Neil's place when it was very small.
Yeah.
Like when people just came up for a cup of tea and all that kind of stuff. And I'm glad he's gone further with that. Because it's like I said, a paranormal meetup's a really good idea, and you could make this place that you've got kind of like a haven for that, and it's a great place for people with like-minded, people to meet up and investigate, come and see it, and I do like that, and I think we kind of miss that aspect of meeting up.
But we are going to be doing an event, Mickey, so...
Yes.
Make you the last of that.
Get out there.
If he's not, I am.
Yeah, we're definitely going to.
Brilliant. So thank you so much, guys, for being on this show. Awesome episode.
Thank you.
Hope to see you soon.
Yes.
Yeah. How can people get in contact with you on your socials?
So it's obviously YouTube and then HauntexTV and on Instagram, HauntexTV as well. And that's all we're on. Obviously, we're on
Yeah,
separate. You're on
Instagram.
Instagram yourself. Sadie gets a lot of likes and all that kind of stuff. I get about 5 on my own personal one. But HauntexTV, we've been trying to build it and everything like that. It's one of these things where we give up every single week, but we keep going with it because we think to ourselves, we love it anyway. And
that's all you can do.
We keep going. But YouTube and Instagram.
Thank you so much for joining me this evening.
No problem.
And I'll see you another time. Thank you so much, guys.
Will do.
Bye.
Cheers for that, Miki.
So there we go, guys. What an amazing episode. What awesome people Sadie and Ally are. Make sure you go check out their content on all their socials. And I will see you lovely people in another episode next week. See you later.